Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my team here on F1 2020. It's the fourth race of the season. We're having a very good year, especially considering the state of the season last year. 7th in Australia with the fastest lap, and then 2 fourth placed finishes. Esteban Ocon got a podium in Bahrain, then finished outside the points in Vietnam. So certainly hoping for him to recover to a solid points position in China. And since the last races we've come here to China, we are now on paper the second best car. So potentially a podium could be in the offing if everything goes our way. Last season in China, we did have a very good race actually, and to that point finished higher than we had done in any other Grand Prix. 12th in China with what was a very uncompetitive car. So genuinely could be in for a great shout for a podium here. So I'm really hoping for the best. In the Constructors, we're third. Only 7 points behind Ferrari in second and chasing them down. Although Ferrari have had a car retire in each of the opening 3 Grand Prix. So no points. Although again, to counteract one of those, Esteban Ocon finished outside the points in the last Grand Prix as well. So 4 opportunities to score points for ourselves and Ferrari, and 1 missed opportunity for us, 3 missed opportunities for them. You would imagine by the end of the season Ferrari would be well clear of us, but for the time being we're challenging them and we'll continue to try and do so. We don't need to change any parts. Wear is fine on everything for now, and hopefully we can have a decent result here in China. Fully dry in every session, so hopefully we can have a bright, sunny result as well. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe on the link down below. And fingers crossed, we can have a good race. I'll see you after practice. Our tyre wear looks really good. We could do something special on strategy here in China. I think last year, on F1 2019, China was the first track that we won at. I don't want to jinx myself, so we're aiming for a podium only so far. 490 of 575 resource points will do very nicely indeed. And hopefully Esteban Ocon will have earned some as well from his side of the garage, so we can get the 2 upgrades we want to actually do for powertrain and chassis, wasn't it, I think? Powertrain and chassis. Opinions on Verstappen? Bloody quick. Thanks for the follow, Vardek. Welcome to the channel, mate. We set a 130.6, which I think is definitely enough to get us into Q2. 8th! It certainly is. 8th place. We're through to the next session of qualifying. Comfortably so as well. Oh, Esteban, don't do me dirty. He's made it through. He's just made it through with the 130.9. Come on, Esteban. You need to qualify well, mate. You need a much better race weekend this time around. We should comfortably be into Q3 here with this, provided I can get the last corner right, which we have. So 130.2-ish, 130.1. Let's go. That's a great lap. At least I think that's a great lap. It is a great lap. 3rd. If we can do that again in Q3, we'll have a great chance of a podium this weekend. I know, right? Car comparison to last year is genuinely unrecognisable. Ocon just sneaks it. Yes, Esteban. Into Q3. Just sneaks it. I mean, the gap to Lewis. The gap to Lewis. Wow. Yet wins aren't coming anytime soon, lads. Wins aren't coming anytime soon. Connor's gifted a subscription to Ryan. Thank you very much, Connor. A 130 flat. We did improve. We did improve on our Q2 time. We qualify 7th for the Chinese Grand Prix. 7th. Best qualifying performance of the season, I believe. I can't remember where we qualified in Australia. 19th in Bahrain, 13th in Vietnam. Where did we qualify in Australia?
With qualifying finished,
Ocon qualifies 9th. Ocon 9th. And we wouldn't have gotten ahead of Alex, even if I hadn't messed up turn 13. P7 to start the Chinese Grand Prix. Personalised one means we are slightly quicker and can go a lap longer than everybody else. But we might end up needing or wanting to undercut depending on what the scenario is. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how things go. I hope we'll get a P1 this season at some point. We're starting P6 here. I'd very much like a podium at some point this season. Leclerc with a slow start. Verstappen is off the marks really quickly, as are we, to be fair. Just trying to hold my line through 1 and hold 6th. We're going to nip up the inside of Albon. Gave Max a little nudge, but he's okay. I've got a warning for the collision with Albon. I'm not sure I deserve the warning for it. Try and accelerate around the outside of Albon. We will have the inside line for the next corner. Oh my god. That wasn't what I envisaged happening, but somehow it worked and we're up in 4th. My brakes just did not, I mean, he turned into me there. My brakes just did not work going into turn 4. I always forget at the start of the Grand Prix, after driving so quickly in quali, that this car is rubbish, absolutely rubbish on heavy fuel. We need that weight reduction addition to the research and development. We need that. We need that weight reduction. Thanks for the follow, Roger. I'm going to try my best to keep up with the Ferraris. It won't be long before Lewis starts to make his way through either. This could quickly become a very lonely race if we're faster than those in front, those behind, and slower than those in front. Although, of course, we are going to be pitting very early on. So we'll get thrown back into the pack quite soon. And Elliot has redeemed the glasses of destiny. Alex has wing damage for sure. Do you think? They're both fine. Yeah, Albon's wing is fine. The Red Bulls don't have wing damage. Oh, actually, yes, look. Look at the bottom of the screen. You see where it says Mobile 1 on the wing, this right-hand side of the wing on Daniel Ricciardo's car. Look at that edge on this next car. Slight damage, ever so slight damage to Alex Albon's wing. I could check the race director and collision warnings, yeah. See if anything happened to Daniel Ricciardo. Let's have a look. Pierre Gasly hit Ocon. Ocon hit Pierre Gasly. Hubert hit Gasly. Kvyat hit Hubert. I hit Albon. Albon hit me. And then I bumped into Leclerc. So at least we weren't the only one to have a bit of a misdemeanor. And to be fair, Albon got a warning for bumping me, as well as me bumping him. So we're going to pit this lap after quite a lonely spell after that first lap. Just kind of loitering in P4, but 3 seconds in front of the Red Bull and 2 seconds behind the Ferrari. And yet Bottas is in. Bottas is in and Leclerc is in as well. So we should hopefully leapfrog Verstappen in the pit stops. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can leapfrog Verstappen. Albon's in the pits behind us. So if we can nail our pit stop and we can get good outlaps, we should be able to get ahead of one of the Ferrari.
Release.
2.4 second stop's not the best, not the worst.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Behind Correa in 17th is where we've come out. Max is on the move. Can we get there quickly? I don't think so. I think the Ferrari's going to come out in front of us. There he is. And swooping round into T1, we have undercut Max Verstappen. We have successfully undercut one of the Ferrari. We are now effectively, once everybody is pit, running P3 and in a podium position. The undercut has worked on Ferrari. Oh, I need this has to stay out, but he hasn't. Well, this should be everyone pit then. We will be running P3 once we overtake the 4 cars that are in the pit lane. We are P3 and in a podium position, having undercut the Ferrari of Max Verstappen, who's only finished once so far this season after 2 DNFs, although that finish was a P2 in Vietnam. But we're monitoring and managing that gap back to him. It's not got any less than about 7 tenths yet. Gap to those in front is still growing.
Just so you know, we're getting some strange readings from a couple of the sensors. I don't think you need to be worried. It's just some bad data, so keep doing what you're doing, and I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems.
I've never had that radio message before. I've never ever had that radio message before. I've no idea what that means. Am I losing performance, or is it just a glitch in the software? I'm not sure. Have you guys had that radio message before? I never have. I don't know how to take that. Thank you for the 100 bits, Lee. Ches, legend of FIFA and F1. Thank you, bro. Guys, that gap to Leclerc is coming down. That gap to Leclerc is coming down. Guys, we are gaining on Leclerc. Significantly so. It's making me wonder as to whether the AI are actually going to 3-stop. If Leclerc's soft tyres are going off... Sorry, if Leclerc's medium tyres are going off this badly, then maybe Leclerc might 3-stop and switch to a set of softs at the end, like go to mediums next, but earlier than planned, or earlier than us at least, and then go to a set of softs at the end. I think he's back end stepped on him then. Let me check. I think Charles Leclerc's back end stepped on him. I think he might be struggling with his tyres, which is why we've been catching him so steadily the past 7 or 8 laps. Just watch him here. Does he catch the curb at all? He does. He catches the curb and he back end steps. He has to wait for the car to settle before he can get back on the throttle again. We are officially within DRS range of Charles Leclerc in P2. Game on. Trying desperately to do it. I'm not going to finish P1. Bottas has held 5 seconds ahead of us for the whole Grand Prix so far. No. Apparently I'm struggling with my rear tyres now, and that's put me right in the clutches of Max Verstappen, who said thank you very much. Lewis Hamilton's out the Grand Prix.
It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Too busy fighting Max. Where's Lewis? Why is he retiring? Or wherever it is, it's not an engine blowout, it's just a mechanical fault somewhere. It's just given up. Given up on the main straight, pulled over by a stewards point, and he's out the Grand Prix. But no safety car, no virtual safety car, no opportunity to change strategy.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.6 seconds.
Just don't know what's the right tactical call. I think I'll stick with the original call of soft, medium, medium, pit on lap 33. Then if the scenario allows, or gaps allow, for an extra stop for a set of fresh softs, then we will do it. But for now, I'm going to stick to the soft, medium, medium plan. Okay, Max has dropped back now.
The gap to the car ahead is 1.7 seconds.
Max has dropped back to over 1.5 seconds behind. Starting to wonder if his tyres are going now. He pit after we did though. He pit the lap after us. We pit the same lap as Charles Leclerc in front. And Max pit the lap behind. Unless he's just saving fuel. He might be having to save fuel, to be fair. Where's Ocon now? I'm not sure. I'll have a check. I'll ask my engineer. Dear Jeff, where the shit is Ocon?
Gap to teammate behind is 22.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in ninth.
So he's making progress.
1:36.2.
Ocon is making progress, and he sat behind 2 others. Look, if you look at the minimap, the top right of the minimap, he sat behind a Racing Point and a Renault. We'll pit this lap. Look at that, look, the gaps are about 4.2 and 2.4. Oh, I've gone deep into the hairpin. And Bottas is in, and Leclerc's in too. The other two trying also to undercut each other. We've all tried to undercut everybody else, and we've all ended up pitting on the same lap. Literally all done the same thing to try and do the same thing to the others. Bottas is right behind me, having finished his stop. I'm going to need a quick stop from my mechanics now, please. And 2.8 seconds, isn't it? 2.8 seconds isn't a quick stop.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
There's my teammate Esteban Ocon up in P6 now. There's other cars behind pit 2. Do not hold me up, Esteban. I'm going for a P2 in this Grand Prix. Don't make me call team orders. Don't make me call team orders on you. Not that I can. Stuck behind Ocon. It's going to cost me time to Leclerc. Charles Leclerc coming out in front of Ocon and Grosjean is going to save him his P2 for this Grand Prix probably, because look at the gap build now. Max is out. Max is already out. There he is. And in almost an exact replica of pit stop number 1, we have been able to swoop past Max Verstappen. But the gap to Charles Leclerc has opened back out again because we got stuck behind our teammate and Romain Grosjean after coming out of the pit stops. Fastest sector 1 of the entire Grand Prix so far for us. Look at the gap to Leclerc now, 4.5 seconds. It's cost me so much. I think P3 is going to be our best effort. I swoop around the outside of Grosjean. We're back up to P3, but now the gap in front has grown so much. Wasn't the fastest lap of the race either. Charles is still less than a second behind Bottas. The fight for the win is still there for Leclerc and Bottas. Leclerc's made a mistake. Leclerc just lost half a second on Bottas. What did he do? He must have, his back end must have stepped again. Oh, he's made a mistake in the hairpin again. Look. He's over. This is for the lead, by the way. Leclerc, Bottas. But Leclerc's oversteered. Coming out of the hairpin. It's cost him half a second to Bottas, who's just disappeared down the road again. But the toe will be welcome. We are going to get DRS. Yes! Juan Manuel! Oh my god. Max just flew at me. I don't know whether you guys saw that. Max built up so much speed behind me and the Williams that he nearly ran into the back of me. I had to make evasive action there. He broke really late, went for it, and oh, how close was that? That's the thing, at the minute, I don't think I have to worry about Verstappen. He's been there or thereabouts for pretty much the entire Grand Prix, and he hasn't threatened. I'm still not worrying that much about Verstappen. I very rarely find myself actually looking behind. I'm always looking at the gap to Leclerc. That's my fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix! Yes! Extra point potentially in the bag. With 2 laps to go, we've whacked in the fastest lap of the race. I saw I was up in Sector 1 by a 10th. Then I saw at the end of Sector 2, I was up by 3. So I thought, bollocks to it, I'm going to put my overtake button on and run in rich all the way down the back straight. And then again, from the back straight to the last corner, from the hairpin to the last corner, and then again across the line. And we've been able to set the fastest lap by about 4 tenths. Because I was so aggressive with it. We've done it by about 4 tenths. Bottas's fastest lap prior to that was 1:33.8. So that should be a safe lap time now for fastest lap.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
And the gap to Leclerc has halved. Don't tell me Leclerc's going to take his foot off the gas so much so that we're going to get really close to him at the end and still end up finishing 3rd. I'm going to use all my overtake button. I'm going to use all my fuel and try one last attempt to catch Sir Leclerc. But I don't think it's going to happen. He's done it again. Watch the replay. It's probably the 8th or 9th time he's done that this Grand Prix. He'll take the corner. He got a little bit wobbly on the way in, touches the curb there, back end kicks, and then he's lost momentum. That's easily the 8th, 9th, perhaps 10th time he's done that in this Grand Prix. 1.9 seconds to Leclerc. I need a last lap Lando. And this is Max's final chance. And he's 7 tenths behind. Max Verstappen's final chance to get on the podium. It's going to be into this hairpin at the end of the straight, but I'm using all my fuel and my ERS. It's not catching me. Leclerc has opened the gap back up to 2.8, so he obviously has everything in hand. He's just managed it the whole Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc. Very well done. Checkered flag. Oh, no! Charles Leclerc took my fastest lap on the last lap. You dick! I can't believe it. You're right, Varun. Varun just called it in chat. He literally just called it in chat. Leclerc was going for my fastest lap, and he did it too. I can't believe it. P3, which is a wonderful finish. Our joint record best finish. Thank you for the bits, Tombo. We're on the podium for just the 2nd ever time and 3rd ever time as a team after Ocon's P3 in Bahrain. And we'll take it. Very pleased with that result. It could have been better. Could have been better, but still very pleased with it. A quick wave. Thank you for the 30 bits, official SD. Appreciate that, my man. Ready and shaky ball time! Yay! P3! P3! Let's go! Up back onto the podium for the picture. Oh, I don't get to take my picture. I went to put my arm around Valtteri. Oh, man. Big points. Big points, though. Ocon finishes in 8th. Well done to him. Can't believe Charles Leclerc picked me on the last lap. By 2 tenths as well. So in the drivers, we still P3. We actually overtake Lewis Hamilton. Lewis DNF'd, of course. So we've now overtaken Lewis in the drivers' standings. Leclerc extends his lead over me. Valtteri further extends his lead over us. Esteban's down to 6th. And in the constructors, we're still comfortably P3. I think P3 in the constructors is ours. But the drivers, we could finish anywhere from maybe 2nd. I doubt it. P3 in both standings is probably what we're going for, really. P3 is what we're going for. Thank you for the bits, Archie. 30 bits to celebrate P3 and Leeds' 2 new signings. And 30 bits from Blubbership as well for 3rd place. Thank you, dude. It wasn't easy.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
I'll say it's easy when the car handles like this.
You must be thrilled to be up on the podium.
Delighted. Thrilled, but I was expecting it. And to be fair, we were expecting it.
There was some contact between you two. What happened?
Alex is fine. Both great drivers at the top of our game. Sometimes contact is unavoidable.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
Nope.
Appreciate your time.
Not a problem, Claire. Bottas won the World Championship last season, Davos, and it looks like he's going to be strong again. Oh, we nailed Alexander Albon there. We nailed Albon in that one. We've extended the lead to 3 now over Alex Albon with 2 races remaining. That's good news. I believe it's Zandvoort next, isn't it? I think it's Zandvoort next, round 5. Find out in a moment. Yes, the Dutch Grand Prix comes up next. And we've had a boost to the power unit there as well. A boost to the power unit too. That has now passed. So we got extra engine power. The 2nd best engine on the grid. The best chassis. And the 2nd best aero. The car is looking good. We should hopefully be challenging for podiums in every Grand Prix now. We should be challenging for podiums in every Grand Prix. It's the Dutch Grand Prix, then it's Spain, and Monaco, Azerbaijan, etc., etc. I used the wheel in the Netherlands last time, so I might use the wheel again for Spain. Ocon back in the points, which is good news. Bottas hasn't DNF'd and has won 3 straight races now. Charles has DNF'd. Max has DNF'd twice. Lewis is DNF'd now as well. As is Daniel and Pierre and Kvyat. Norris very consistent, although P13, unfortunately for him in China, his worst result of the season. He was doing really well, 10th, 9th, 5th in Vietnam. Right behind us, of course, wasn't he? Across the line. We got £6 million. I want to go for resource point generation. Sorry, I do have to bear in mind though. I'm gonna need money to be able to afford Esteban Ocon's renewal. Which is in 77 days, and I'm going to need 8 million. So I'm going to have to save. I'm going to absolutely have to save my balls off to be able to afford to keep Esteban Ocon as my teammate. So we will try and do that now, and I'm not going to spend any more money. But we'll do the Dutch Grand Prix with a controller this year because we used the wheel there last year. And then I'll do the Spanish Grand Prix with the wheel. So we've got 4 days each side here. Could do a second driver press tour, power team building, reaction training for Ocon. I kind of want to do that. And then I don't want to do these two. I don't want to do these two. I want to do that one, really. That's what we're going to go for. We've got a press interview to go to as well, presumably with Will Buxton. Thank you for the bit, Dan. Definitely not first time. Definitely not first this time. How did you get on? We finished P3, mate. Got a podium. But we're going to go to the press interview here with Will Buxton and see what this is all about. Because it's very early in the season for one.
HQ of our newest Formula 1 team. We've got an awful lot to talk about. So let's jump straight in. You've got one of the top teams in the Constructors' Championship. What's your secret to scoring those points?
I mean, our chassis is great.
Isn't it safe to say you focused heavily on driver development?
I mean, no more than anyone else, I don't suppose.
Sponsors seem to be climbing over one another to get their name onto your car. What do you plan on investing that extra money into?
Resource points. Chassis, aero, power, probably.
Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points?
If we're lucky, there'll be a few podiums, I think. Plenty of points. Planning on getting plenty of points. Still developing team. We're going for titles. If we're lucky, there'll be a few podiums. There's been 2 podiums already this season.
Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team?
No.
It's been wonderful to spend some time with you. Best of luck out on track.
Thanks, Will.
I'm worried about our cash reserves. They're pretty low and we might have to start shutting down facilities.
What? Have a word. Not shutting down facilities. Go away. Shutting down facilities. How dare you? We got... Lads. Vehicle performance comparison. Hello? Hello? With those parts that have passed, we are the best team. We have the best, most well-rounded car on the grid. Chassis, number 1. Powertrain, number 2. Aero, number 1. We have the best car on paper on the grid. In tomorrow's stream, in the next video, at the Dutch Grand Prix, are we going for a win? Are we going for a win? With improvements to the chassis, improvements to the aero. Weather is going to be dry. We finished 10th here last season, which at the time was our best finish. 15th, 15th, 18th, 12th. 10th. Then we went kind of downhill for Spain and Monaco, but we'll ignore that. Well then. Well then indeed. Don't miss the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching this one. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Link in the description down below so you don't miss out on any of these. Follow me on Twitter as well. And of course, stay subscribed to the channel. But for now, that's all for this YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.